Hey, thanks for tuning in. In this video, we're going to talk about checking ingredients lists to determine if a product is kosher. This is a practice that I used to do, and it's a practice that I've seen a lot of other people do and a lot of different groups do. The idea that we can look over an ingredients list and figure out if an item is kosher or not in the case that it's not certified kosher. And this is a practice that I think deserves some reevaluation. And there are three main points I want to talk about. First being our knowledge of food processing, our knowledge regarding the manufacture of food nowadays. So a lot of times we'll look over an ingredients list and we'll think that we know more about what's going on than we actually do. Just one example of this being, we might look over a label and see, oh, citric acid. Oh, citric, okay, citrus fruit. Okay, it's probably like derived from oranges or lemons or something. But kind of the interesting thing about this is that typically the citric acid is not derived from citrus fruit. It's often derived from fermented corn. And so while this is not necessarily a kosher concern, although it may be a leaven concern, it does illustrate that we can kind of trick ourselves into thinking we know more about what's going on than we do. And so we can look over this and look over the label and say, oh, well, that's probably just, just from fruit, and that's okay. And this is probably just from just olive oil. It's okay. And when in fact, olive oil, for example, is shipped over in ship's hulls, from my understanding, and some of them end up mixed with other things. I mean, they don't clean out the hull between shipments, so you could get unclean contaminants in it and it could be mixed in with it and we wouldn't realize it. And so we'd be looking over that and think, oh, okay, olive oil, oh, it's going to be fine. And when in reality, we don't realize what's going on. And we might look over like a vegan list or something like that that tells us what different ingredients are supposed to be sourced from, but they're not always right. There are a lot of people out there that want to think certain things are vegan, I guess because they don't want to accept the possibility that they're not. And so they go around telling people, oh yeah, this is vegan, this is kosher, this is, that sort of thing, no animal source. And in fact, I have seen that often, or at least at times, be incorrect. That I've confirmed it to be otherwise. So we don't know as much as we think we do about all these different ingredients. That's the first point. The second thing is the ingredients label doesn't list everything that's in it. Now, it does list all of the deliberately added ingredients, but it doesn't tell us about release agents or lubricants. So those are not listed at all on the ingredients label. And so there could be problematic release agents and lubricants used in the manufacture of this food, and it's getting into the food, it's being made into the product. And if we're just looking over an ingredients label and we're seeing, oh, I don't know anything that could be wrong with this, we're not even looking at what all went into it. And we don't really know what's going on. And that gets into the third point, which is the idea of trying to check with the company about the ingredients and the idea that we can somehow figure out what's going on without the help of a kosher certification agency, for example. So the idea of calling the company, this is something that I used to do a lot. It's something that I no longer do in general. I do not think it is a reasonable approach to the situation. And the main reason for this is that they are the advocate of the company. That the customer service representative, they are the advocate of the company. And the company's goal is to sell you the product. Let me provide an example of calling the company, an example of a situation that didn't work out so well. There was a supplement product I was interested in, and I emailed the company and asked them if there were any animal-derived ingredients. They wrote me back and said no. And so I thought, oh, okay, I guess it's going to be clean, it's going to be kosher. And so I went and bought the product, When I got home with it, at some point I was reading over the label and I saw it said it had carmine in it. And this is derived from insects and unclean insects. And I called the company back because I was thinking, well, maybe it's synthetic or something. Maybe it's not actually, what it says it is. And I called them back and they said, oh yeah, it's derived from bugs. And I said, well, I just talked to so-and-so on the email and they said it didn't have any animal ingredients. And then apparently I was talking to the person that I had emailed and they said, well, I didn't think that you thought a bug was an animal. So there's this slippage in what exactly we're looking for, and there's also the slippage of, what even do we care about? And this is another reason why a kosher certification agency, why I recommend that we look to reputable agencies to certify products, because even though we may not agree with them fully on their interpretation of the law, they are actually trying to advocate for the commands. They are actually trying to advocate for our beliefs, even if they don't agree with them 100%. And so, these customer service representatives who are trying to advocate for the company, not only are they not necessarily on our side, they do not even know what our beliefs are. They don't even know what we're trying to figure out. Even if we tell them, there are assumptions involved. And a lot of times they don't even know what's going on. They don't even have access to the information. But a kosher certification agency, they have not only the knowledge of the industry and awareness of common practices and all of that, but they actually have direct access to the information that they need to make their decisions. And so not only are they our advocate, but they have access to far more information than we could ever derive from looking at ingredients lists or calling a company. So for this reason, I strongly advise that you look into products that are certified by reputable kosher certification agencies, even if you don't agree with them on everything, such as the mixing of meat and dairy and stuff like that. I strongly advise that you take that into consideration, that you look into certified products and that sort of thing. So, thanks for watching. Feel free to like this video and share it if you think it could be useful to someone else and could inform them about these concerns. And feel free to subscribe if you have not already, so we can stay in touch and so I can share more of these things that I've become aware of over the years of observing. So once again, thanks for watching. Remember the commands. Peace.